The Acaia Lunar 2021. This is the most over-the-top purchase I have ever made. I mean, it is a coffee scale, but compared to everything else I've bought, like $250 for this guy, it really pushes the value to cost proposition. But, you know, I've had this for 6 months and I have a few thoughts. I thought I'd talk about it. Okay, let's get a few things out of the way. It's a really small scale. So the dimensions are 105 millimeters by 105 millimeters by 15 millimeters. So that 15 millimeters height, it's really short. And that means that you get more space for cups in your espresso machine, kind of unlocks a few more cups that you might not be able to use before. Second, it does its job. I mean, it is a coffee scale, so it's about weighing your beans, it's about weighing the espresso that's flowing out. It does that, and it does it really well. So it's responsive, and to me, what I really find I love is that it's very confident in the measurement. It doesn't float around, and the other previous scales that I had, obviously the much cheaper ones, they kind of like they don't know if their answer is correct. The Acaia Lunar does a damn good job. Over the last 6 months, three things come to mind. The first is that this is a very analog experience. Let me explain myself. Like, everything that you need to record is there on the scale, right? It's got the shot timer, it's got, when you weigh your beans, it also captures how much of espresso comes out. Everything is right there. You don't need a separate phone, an app, a timer, none of that. And I kind of record that on a paper. I've got my grind size, I've got my weight in, weight out, trying to get that 1:2 ratio. I've also got the shot timer, trying to get it in 30 seconds, all on paper, all very analog. Okay, quick sidebar on the shot timer. Now, you could measure your shot time either from the pump start to the flow end, or from the first drop start to the flow end. And I know it's a healthy debate, you can decide whatever you want. At the end of the day, consistency is the key, stick to one. The Acaia Lunar helps you do both. So if you want to measure the first drop on, that's already there, it's the auto tare mode. You put your cup, you start your shot, the first drop comes in, and then the timer starts. If you want to do the other way, which is the pump start, you have the auto start, auto tare mode. That's what I use. So I'll put my scale on, I put my coffee cup, the timer starts, and that's when I press the pump start. Now, you might even say that, hey, Karthikeya, this is an analog experience. I mean, this whole thing has Bluetooth and it's all supposed to connect with apps. I get that. They're all clunky apps. I don't use it, whatever. So overall, I just love this experience. It's very mindful. It's very therapeutic. It's very tactile. It's just, I feel really connected to the process of making my coffee. And I think that's what matters the most. The second is a flow rate meter, which are these dots that you see on the top. So it goes from 0.01 grams per second on the left all the way to 3.4 grams per second to the right. All of this can happen in real time, during an espresso shot. The other thing is it also shows a bright dot, which is like the maximum flow rate during that extraction. Also kind of helpful. And finally, at the end of your extraction, once it's over, the Lunar kind of summarizes it and flashes the average flow rate of the entire shot. Again, I'm just going to look at this graph, which I'll link where I got it from. It's basically shows you a typical shot. The orange line is the pressure. And so initially you've got a pre-infusion, it ramps up, and then you've got a pressure that's maintained. Meanwhile, the flow rate, which is the blue line, shoots up in the beginning. It's the maximum, and then it crashes after pre-infusion's over, but it continues to climb up towards the end. And I think that's your typical shot. That's what you're really trying to replicate. 6 months ago, I really started off like super excited about this feature. Like this was amazing. But now I'm like, meh. Like I'm really indifferent about this. Like, yeah, whatever. The third are all the bells and whistles. So the first is you can disable modes that you don't use. I genuinely like that. Like there are like 6-7 modes in this, so it really gets overwhelming. And you can just disable the stuff you don't need. So for me, I just got 2 modes and I toggle between them. It's very intuitive that way and makes your workflow much simpler. The second is that you can increase readability to 0.01 grams. And by default, it comes with 0.1 grams. I mean, I did that. I wasn't getting very confident results. Again, remember that was the key thing for me. And I got very little gain from all of this pain. So, okay, like if you prefer it, sure, but I don't know. And then there's another thing called tear save. So tear save, it saves the weight of your dosing cup, and you can deduct that from whatever beans in the dosing cup that you're weighing on your scale, which is a pretty cool feature if you think about it, and kind of very real to our workflow today, and especially with something like a niche zero. But I did find it kind of useless because after you've configured it, you still have to press the tear button for 0.5 seconds to deduct that dosing cup weight. On the other hand, you could also just start your Acaia Lunar with the dosing cup on it and it tears to 0. So final thoughts with the Acaia Lunar 2021 over 6 months. I mean, first of all, you just have to cross over the hump of this price. Like it's insane. It's just, I mean, you know what, like, you just have to justify this for yourself. But if you can, it's a really good scale. One, it does what it's supposed to, which is weigh your coffee beans and, be part of your workflow. 2, it looks damn good. It doesn't look like a monstrosity sitting on your coffee counter table. It's sleek and it's like small, and you can add more cups and all that stuff. And the last is that it's unlocks a new experience. I just love being very analog with this guy, and it's made me excited about making coffee all over again. So +1 to that. If you can get over the damn price. What the Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.